Alright, here we go. Hello everybody, welcome to today's live stream. Today we're going to be talking about episode 18 of Ninjago, entitled Child's Play, and this episode's actually pretty good, just spoiling how I feel about it right off the bat. Really like this episode. In case you guys hadn't seen yesterday's stream, we talked about one of my least favorite episodes, and the review only lasted about maybe, I don't know, a few minutes. If you guys were there yesterday, you would know that it was a very short review. But in today's video, or in today's stream rather, the review is going to be a little bit more in-depth because this episode's actually worth talking about. So in case you guys are just joining us here for the first time, this is our streaming setup and our streaming information. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, of course featuring an episode review and a Q&A, and obviously we'll update this day by day. If there's ever a day where I can't stream, I'll let you guys know. How am I feeling today? I'm feeling alright. How are you guys doing? Woke up this morning feeling pretty good, so I'm excited to get into this stream, and I'm excited to talk about this episode. The drink for today, those of you guys keeping up with the drink, we got about half a 2-liter of Mountain Dew, so we're going to try to get through that before the end of the stream. So hopefully you guys are doing good today. Hello everybody joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we're just going to let the episode slideshow run in the background here as we break down the plot. We'll talk about some of the good stuff and some of the bad stuff, and then we'll rate the episode out of 10. Very healthy, yeah, I know. Obviously we're starting off here very strong. I've only been up for a couple hours. Actually, woke up quite early today. I didn't wake up like 6 seconds before the stream like I normally do most days, so I'm ready to go here. I'm excited. But yeah, this episode's pretty good. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the episode begins with the ninja training, like a lot of these episodes really do, and they're basically training Lloyd on the recently reacquired Destiny's Bounty, which they stole back from Garmadon at the end of the last episode. So they got the bounty back, and it's going pretty well, at least for the ninja. I mean, Lloyd isn't doing so hot. He is like looking down at some of the other kids and kind of feeling remorse and feeling sadness that he doesn't really get to experience a normal childhood like the other children do. He's not really too happy about that. He's just forced to train with the ninja, but he is doing pretty well in his training. He's actually getting along pretty well as the Green Ninja. He knows a lot of moves at this point, and he's basically he's getting there. He's getting to that point of unlocking his true potential. So really good stuff there. The ninja get alerted of Garmadon's break-in at a local museum, and then they head off to stop him, while Lloyd is of course again left behind because he's still not ready to go out on missions yet. Again, much to the dismay of Lloyd, because again he's basically just excluded from everything, and it kind of sucks. And in this episode we kind of see that Lloyd really isn't doing all that well. But Garmadon and the Serpentine are breaking into the museum because they want to revive what's known as the Grundle, basically a large beast that hunts down ninja, and that's Garmadon's next genius plan with the mega weapon. And his idea is to reverse time on the skeleton to again revive it and sick it on the ninja. So pretty interesting plan. A lot of Garmadon's other plans with the mega weapon really don't I guess they're not that similar to this, so I give Garmadon props. It's kind of unique, but when he tries to reverse time with the mega weapon, the mission is interrupted by the ninja, and they prevent it, I guess, quote unquote prevent it, and Garmadon retreats. Naturally, we know what happens next. The ninja suddenly find themselves turned into kids, and that's the plot of this episode. The ninja are kids. So, yeah, so that's the plot. And they're picked up by the cops pretty much right off the bat because they're pretty much framed for the museum heist, if you will, because the Serpentine and Garmadon escaped, leaving only the ninja behind, and no one believes that they're the ninja. It's going to be a pretty interesting plot here, and I actually really like it. No one believes them that the Grundle has escaped because they see the skeleton is missing, so clearly the Grundle has ran off and escaped somewhere. When did the Grundle become extinct? Yeah, because we see it in season 5. At some point in between, Moro's quest and the start of the series, the Grundle went extinct. So pretty much a time frame of about 40 years, I'd say. So somewhere within those 40 years, the Grundle went extinct. I'm sure it was already like kind of endangered beforehand, but at some point during the 40 years, the Grundle pretty much went extinct. So the ninja pretty much escape from the police as the Grundle attacks. So they're pretty much trying to find out, I guess, the best case scenario to take on this beast. They're not so sure what they can do, especially now that they're kids. But they call Lloyd just to go ahead and fill him in on the situation, and Lloyd really doesn't care, which is kind of funny, or he doesn't believe that they're them at first, but he's quick to get swayed over to the ninja's side. They meet at an arcade or someplace, a pizzeria, and Lloyd realizes what's going on. So Lloyd has an idea, though. He meets with a comic book store owner by the name of Mother Doomsday. Good stuff there. And Mother Doomsday, I guess, fills the ninja in about how to defeat the Grundle, and his best advice is to use what's known as the Illumisword, which is just a weapon that really isn't all that effective. It's just kind of like it's basically a discount lightsaber, if you will, except it doesn't really do anything. It's basically like a lightsaber toy. But it's pretty much the best that the ninja have at this point, so they'll take it. But in order to win the Illumiswords, they do need to enter a comic book competition. It's kind of like a trivia thing, and what they do is they enter Lloyd in it, because Lloyd is obviously a big comics fan, so he he enters this competition. Am I the voice actor for the comic guy? No, but I wish. I'd love to be on Ninjago in some type of cameo voice role. That'd be awesome. But Lloyd enters the competition while Master Wu and Nia basically visit Mistake, who is, of course, the tea shop owner, and they purchase Tomorrow's tea, which is a special type of tea that can make somebody turn old. So their plan is to use the Tomorrow's tea on the Grundle to reverse the time and get rid of it, while also aging up the ninja back to their normal ages. So, good stuff. Called them authentic replicas. If light worked against the Grundle, then why didn't they leave and get flashlights? That's a good question. I'm not sure why they just didn't do that exactly, because later on in the episode, Lloyd uses his powers, and it kind of works against the Grundle, kind of scares it off a little bit. So they could have honestly just used anything that would get a big bright light. Maybe it's because they were also weapons. Who knows? But anyway, Lloyd loses the comic book competition because the last question is from an issue that he hasn't read. So go figure, right? But then the Grundle appears and basically attacks the comic book shop. Everyone panics, and the ninja try to fight it. They get all suited up with the Illumiswords and try to take it on, but of course they fail dramatically. Lloyd also tries to fight, and his powers do work a little effectively. Like I said earlier, they do, I guess, succeed in, I guess, scaring off the Grundle a little bit, but he is knocked down and is basically taken out of the fight pretty easily. Thankfully, though, Wu and Nia show up with the Tomorrow's tea and give it to the ninja, and basically tell them to use it on the Grundle, because, again, it'll reverse the Grundle while also aging up the ninja. So it's kind of a win-win there. So the ninja are kind of hesitant to use it, though, because that means that Lloyd would get aged up as well, because Lloyd was in the vicinity and there wasn't really time to get him out. And Lloyd tells him to do it. The ninja really don't want to, because, it would make Lloyd miss out on his childhood. Why didn't Lloyd run as the ninja use the Tomorrow's tea? I don't really think there was enough space for him to get out of there. He was kind of just trapped in that corner. They were kind of just backed into the corner, and I don't really know if he had an option to escape. But anyway, or why didn't the ninja become old like Wu? I think Mistake actually brewed the tea to actually, be a specific number or age them up a specific way. I think that's how it went. I'm not so sure about that. But anyway, the ninja are hesitant and they don't really want to use it, but Lloyd picks it up and uses it, and the Grundle starts to disappear, and of course the Tomorrow's tea works in bringing the ninja back up to their actual age, and the Grundle disappears as well. But of course it's revealed that Lloyd is now older too, and Lloyd is kind of aged up with the rest of the ninja now. So Master Wu says something about destiny being fulfilled, or destiny being closer for Lloyd or whatever. He says something, but the episode ends with Lloyd realizing that his destiny is growing closer, and he pretty much exits the comic book store as the episode comes to a close. So this episode is kind of, I guess, infamous for aging Lloyd up. There's been a lot of confusion and a lot of, I guess, controversy surrounding that decision, but nowadays I'm pretty sure people are pretty much used to it at this point. So for good stuff. What do we got? So overall, the plot is very interesting, I'd say. It's kind of unoriginal when you actually look at it for the genre, for science fiction. We've seen this plot before, but for Ninjago, it's very unique. There hasn't really been anything like this throughout Ninjago's run before, and it's kind of an interesting use of the mega weapon as well. Again, as I said earlier, Garmadon really hasn't had a plan like this before, so using the mega weapon to revive an ancient beast. That's something that really hasn't been done in Garmadon's plan, so that was kind of interesting. I'll give them points for that. And it was a unique situation for the ninja. Again, there hasn't really been anything like this in Ninjago since then, or even before this. The ninja turning into kids is something that is unique for Ninjago, so yeah, fair enough. I'll give them points for that. What I really enjoy about this episode, though, is Lloyd in this episode. He kind of has this overarching theme of not fully, I guess, encapsulating his childhood, and even towards the end of the episode, he makes the decision to become older because, in all seriousness, Lloyd's childhood was pretty much over before it even, began. Because of his destiny and because of who he is, he really didn't have time for anything, so I understand why he made the decision to be aged up, because he was pretty much already older, but he was just physically turned older at the end of this episode because his responsibilities pretty much prevented his childhood from even happening. Well, it is kind of sad. I do like how Lloyd kind of deals with that in this episode. I thought that was really well done, and it kind of provided that theme for Lloyd throughout the entire thing, and I thought that was really cool. Also, growing up too quick for Lloyd, that was another big theme of the episode. We've already kind of talked about that, but at the end of the episode, Lloyd does age up and gets older. So, again, at the time, it was kind of strange. I wasn't really too familiar with that at that point. It was kind of weird seeing Lloyd as old as the other ninja. Of course, nowadays it makes a lot of sense, and I think for the most part, everyone's pretty much used to it. He has the mind of a 10-year-old, but the body of a 16-year-old. I would disagree. I feel like Lloyd has been aged up fully, both mentally and physically, because he was already kind of aged up mentally, and those themes were explored in this episode. He was kind of aged up to the point where he was just kind of tired about everything, and he really just didn't have a childhood, and he was kind of remorseful about that. But that's why he ultimately made the decision at the end, because he was already kind of aged up, so his body just kind of caught up to the rest of him. And yeah, there's been some confusion as to how old Lloyd actually is. Some people say 16. According to the Ninjago movie, Lloyd is 16, but of course the movie is not canon to the show. But if that's anything to go off of, then Lloyd would have been 16 in Sons of Garmadon, making him around 13, 14 as of this season. There hasn't been an exact number, but people can make predictions or whatever. It's easy enough. The Grundle was also really good in this episode. Again, we really hadn't seen like a beast since the Great Devourer, and this thing is very much, I guess, different than the Great Devourer in terms of how it hunts and its size and its actual tactic of fighting. So it was a pretty interesting opponent for the ninja to face. It wasn't the most unique opponent out there, but it was definitely one that the ninja hadn't really faced before. And another good thing about this episode, it was kind of funny. I found myself laughing a lot in this episode, especially with the ninja as children. There's a lot of really funny moments and a lot of really meta lines in there. That's really fun. And just overall, I really enjoyed the humor in this episode. Easily some of the best humor, at least in the filler episodes of Ninjago. And that's just another thing, too. This episode is technically a filler episode, but I would argue that this is probably the most important filler episode out of the entirety of the filler episodes. Lots of stuff happens in this episode that's pretty important, especially for the character of Lloyd. So, if anything, this is probably one of the most important episodes of Season 2, I'd say. In terms of bad stuff, there's not a whole lot. The only thing that I kind of pointed out as being negative was the whole way that the situation was resolved, and this was kind of a complaint that I pointed out in previous Ninjago episodes too. The situation in the episode prevents itself right away at the beginning. For example, in this episode, the ninja are kids, but the solution comes way too quickly. For example, in this episode, Wu and Nia show up at the end with a solution. Instead of the ninja themselves finding a solution to, revive, I guess, their age in a proper way, it's just basically handed to them. Really didn't like that. But overall, I don't know. It's not the worst thing ever. I just thought it was a little too convenient. The ninja really don't need to do anything besides worry about the Grundle, and they don't really find a way to age themselves up. Instead, Master Wu does. And part of that bothered me, but overall, it wasn't the worst thing ever. It was just kind of a little bit too convenient of an ending. I feel like if the episode was a little longer, then the ninja would have found a way to solve the issue themselves. But of course, the runtime is only 22 minutes, so there's not really a whole lot that they can do in that time frame. So I understand why the ending was presented in that way. So it's not the worst thing ever. Overall, this episode was very, very good still. Easily one of my favorite episodes of Season 2. I remember when I was younger, this episode, I wasn't around for the airing of this episode, so I had to record it, and knowing that it was at home recorded for me on like a like a VHS tape, I was really excited for that. And just overall, I have a lot of fond memories with this episode, and I really do enjoy this episode. Rewatching it, it was pretty good as well. In terms of a final score, I am going to be going ahead and giving this episode a score of a 9 out of 10 because this episode was very good, and it was definitely better than the episode that we reviewed yesterday. I was really looking forward to talking about this episode today because it's pretty good, but let me know what scores you guys have for this episode in the chat. I'm giving it a 9. The only thing I'm taking off points for is the ending being too convenient, but that's just kind of a nitpick on my end. But yeah, man, people recorded back in 2012. Yeah, I recorded all the episodes either on DVR or VHS. I was very OCD as a kid. Let's see what you guys have for scores. Bunch of 10s, 8s, 9s, 7s, pretty high scores overall. Lots of good scores. I don't know. I feel like this episode is a very much a classic episode in terms of Ninjago, especially for the fan reaction. I feel like lots of people really like this episode. 9 out of 10, 8, 9, good stuff. Yeah, just overall, this episode is pretty great, all things considered. And I'm glad a lot of you guys feel the same way. This episode is very classic, again, for a lot of reasons, and it's pretty much one of the most important episodes of Lloyd's story arc as well. This is when he finally grows older and grows closer to his destiny. So, waited for DVDs back then, and people put it to YouTube. Yeah, I watched it on Cartoon Network when it came out. Very good stuff. But with that being said, that'll just about do it for my review of Child's Play. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Wrong Place, Wrong Time, which is episode 19 of the series. I'll go ahead and watch it tonight and make notes and prep for the stream tomorrow, and it'll be a good time. I really remember liking that episode a lot, so hopefully tomorrow will be another good episode that we can talk about. Of course, that doesn't mean that the stream is over necessarily. It just means the review portion is over, and now it's time to jump into Q&A as I take a sip of my beverage because I've been talking nonstop for like the past 15 minutes. It's not the healthiest of options, but you know, I do need I do need some type of caffeine, and I can't drink coffee. So um Zane was only aged down physically. Yeah, the ninja weren't really aged down mentally, I'd say. They were kind of aged down physically, and the reason why Zane was able to be aged down was just because he was, just an android, and, with the magic of the mega weapon, you could do anything. So, makes sense. So, in terms of Q&A, let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, I can't drink coffee because it messes with my stomach and it hurts me and it makes me sick. So, I can't drink coffee. How's my son, my parents' cat? He's good. I was able to see him this weekend. My son Nacho, my first cat. He was very very good boy. I really liked seeing him again this weekend. Um, where's Waffle? She's around here somewhere. I don't think she's in the room with me at the moment. She was in here earlier, before I was starting stream, but you know, wouldn't Lloyd have aged up mentally? In terms of, because there's been a lot of fan debate about that, like how much Cole was, or not Cole, how much Lloyd was aged up. I'd say he was aged up physically and mentally because he was aged up. And that just means he was aged up. Like when you age naturally, you age up both mentally and physically. So I imagine someone, when they just rapidly aged, they would do the same thing. So I never really understood the reference that Lloyd wasn't really aged up mentally. He was. Basically, he got flash forwarded in time, if that makes sense. So. How's Harumi and Lloyd the same age in Sons of Garmadon? I imagine it was because when they were kids, like in season one, Harumi was shown to be very young because of the flashbacks in season 8. But even with Harumi being as young as she was, I still think that she was older than Lloyd. So, say for example, if Lloyd was, I don't know, say like 8 in the original seasons, and maybe Harumi, say, was, I don't know, maybe like 11, just say that. By the time Lloyd was aged up, he was probably aged up to be around the same thing as Harumi, naturally, but and then they just both aged. Again, Ninjago, it's Ninjago. There's a lot of plot holes and a lot of inconsistencies, but I try to make as much sense of it as I can. But there's not like an exact answer to that, but there's a way to figure it out. I've recently did a video, or not recently, but I remember doing a video within the past couple of months about the ages of the ninja again, and I kind of explained that in that, so I had to take a sip. But I don't know. There's stuff that you can do that would kind of make it make sense, but no matter what conclusion we come to, there's going to be a point that kind of disagrees with that. So it's kind of difficult to, I guess, give an exact answer. But just overall, I don't know, the whole aging up of Lloyd thing was kind of confusing. I think it would have been a lot better, honestly, if they made Lloyd, I guess, be older from the beginning, if they never had Lloyd be a child. So I feel like that would have been a lot better. Yeah, Lloyd was also acting very mature for his time before the Tomorrow's Tea. Yeah, exactly. Especially in Child's Play, in the episode that we just reviewed, there's a lot of instances where he just didn't already have a childhood, so he just kind of accepted that. Well, he's already kind of aged up, so there you go. Um, but yeah, overall, what age would Zane be? um, I don't know. In terms of his age, he's kind of older than the other ninja, obviously, because he was built before the Serpentine War even took place. So he's pretty old. So there's not really an exact number that you could give Zane, I'd imagine. But he's a lot older than the other ninja, just physically. But yeah, let's get some questions rolling here. We got a lot of time left in the stream for the Q&A, so which season is Golden Nia from? Yeah, in case you guys have not heard of that, Golden Nia was leaked earlier today, and I think that's supposed to be a golden version of her season 14 variant. It kind of looks like the same season of Lloyd's, which is, in my opinion, supposed to be a season 14 version, but not so sure about that. So, do I like Avatar? The movie or the or the series? I haven't really seen any of them, so I've seen a few episodes of The Last Airbender, but I haven't watched the full thing. Yeah, Golden Nia. For the Legacy sets, she was leaked today, and she looks good. She actually has the golden half mask piece, so finally we're getting that. We've waited a long time for that, and we're finally getting it, so I'm excited. In terms of the next upcoming wave of Legacy, there are a lot of, I guess, there's a lot of good stuff that we're getting in this upcoming wave that we should have gotten in other waves. Like, for example, I did a video earlier today talking about the fact that we're finally getting Zane's titanium hairpiece from the movie. Finally. No longer do we have to paint our own. It's very good. The movie is trash? Nah, the movie's good. I actually really like the Ninjago movie. Um, who's my favorite villain? In terms of villains, I could go either way. I really like Garmadon. I really like Chen. I really like Moro. Honestly, a lot of villains in Ninjago are very, very good. Ninjago's got some great villains, all things considered. So pretty much, any type of villain is good. My personal favorites, though, are, as I've said, Garmadon, Chen, Moro. So really hate when Cole is eating cake and drinking soda. That's basically what I did yesterday because it was my birthday yesterday, so I kind of had an excuse. But um, oh wow, I'm getting notifications on my phone of new Funko Pops coming out. All right, good stuff. Have I played the Ninjago movie video game? I have. I got it when it came out. It's not the best thing ever, but it's good for killing time, I guess. I've been trying to play it again little by little and try to complete it, but it's not like it's not my favorite thing ever. It's just kind of all right. It's just kind of meh in my opinion. How do I feel about the newer seasons? With the exception of season 11, the newer seasons have actually been pretty good. Like Prime Empire and Master of the Mountain are very good. Master of the Mountain is my third favorite season at this point, right behind Sons of Garmadon and Tournament of Elements, which is still my favorite. But the newer seasons are pretty good. Season 11 is all right. It's not the best thing ever, but it's also not the worst. It has a lot of issues, but there are also a lot of things that make it pretty good. So season 11 isn't the best thing ever, but it's I'd watch it. It's manageable. How do I like March of the Oni? March of the Oni I think is very underrated. I feel like that season, though it is kind of short, I feel like it's also very good, and I feel like a lot of people um, just don't like it for whatever reason, but I think it's underrated. I really enjoy it. I wish we went back to Will film for the animation. Yeah, but that's just a matter of circumstance, It's not like the series chose to do that. The studio just dropped it and they got picked up by a new one for unknown reasons. But I don't know. I still just really enjoy the newer animation just in general as well at the new studio because it allows for a more, I guess, fluid motion, if that makes sense. I always felt like with Will film animation, it was always just very stiff and just not very um, it definitely could have been better, and I feel like this newer animation studio allows for a more open and more free animation, if that makes sense. Um, but yeah, just overall, there's definitely not anything bad going on with the newer stuff. It's still pretty good. Yeah, I don't know why they dropped Wilfilm, or why Wilfilm dropped Ninjago. That really hasn't been made clear at all. Of course, people have their theories, but I don't think there's ever been like a legitimate reason given as to why they switched over to the new studio. If there is, I don't know it. But should the show be 2D? I think it would be cool to have like a two-dimensional Ninjago show, kind of in the same style as Monkey Kid. But of course, the actual style that Ninjago's in, obviously, there's nothing wrong with it. There'd be no reason to change it. As the common saying goes, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So there's not really a reason to convert Ninjago into a 2D show. I just always thought it would have been kind of cool. And Ninjago's been experimenting. They have like the infamous anime episodes whenever they give flashbacks for the newer stuff, but I feel like that could have been done a lot better, and I feel like they should animate it a little bit more in the style of Monkey Kid. So, in terms of what I think of the anime episodes, they're all right. Some of them are better than others. I think it's interesting seeing the ninja animated in a more unique style, but the actual episodes that are given the anime treatment, they aren't great. But that doesn't have anything to do with the anime style. It has to do more with the writing. But no, I feel like they definitely could improve that. Animating it more like Monkey Kid would definitely be a win for Ninjago, especially for the anime episodes. Anime with heavy quotes. How often do I buy Ninjago sets? Every single wave when they come out, I do buy a couple of them, pretty much at the beginning whenever they're just first available. So, for example, in January when all the new Legacy stuff comes out, I'll probably pick some up then, and then not buy Ninjago again until the summer wave or whenever new stuff comes out. I don't buy everything in the new waves when they come out, but I pick up what I like. For example, in the most recent wave when it dropped for season 13. Got a couple of season 13 sets as well as a couple of the new legacy sets. So I don't buy everything, and I only really buy Ninjago stuff when it all comes out. But if there's a sale or if there's something that's like discounted that I see at the store randomly, I'll pick it up, especially if it's something that I've kind of been on the fence about. Like, for example, what's an example that I can give? Say for example, if you had like the Master Wu Dragon, or not the Master Wu Dragon, the Wu's Battle Dragon from the season 13 wave, if that set was kind of discounted, I would pick it up. But of course I have it, but you know, I wish I would have waited because it's not the best set ever. But if it's like $10 or something like that, I'd buy it. So it just kind of depends on when I find Ninjago stuff. Um, but yeah, I wish I would have. I actually did buy a Ninjago set earlier today, just because it was kind of cheap, and one of the cats is trying to break down the door. So, in case you guys hear a noise in the background, it's one of the cats trying to break down the door. So, oh, and she succeeded. Hello, Waffle. Waffle is here now. So, those of you wondering where Waffle is one of my 3 kitties, and she's here. In terms of which set I bought it on Lego.com, and I actually went ahead and picked up the minifigure pack with the Golden Zane. So didn't have it yet, and I realized that I had an overabundance of VIP points still saved on Lego.com. So I went ahead and picked it up. So I got that coming. That'll be here sometime next week. I'll probably do an unboxing video about it. Um, it's not the biggest thing ever, but I just had a few VIP points to spend, so figured I'd do that before they expire. How do I like Zane's new mech? I think it's pretty cool. I really like the new Titan mech. I feel like it's a really good design. A lot of people don't like it, but I don't know. I still think it's a pretty good design, and I'm definitely going to grab that day one. So when are we going to be getting the official Legacy 2021 set pictures from Lego? I have no idea. Lego's been releasing set pictures for pretty much every other theme besides Ninjago, so I hope we get them soon. But the pictures are out there, obviously, but they're not like official yet, unfortunately. But I don't know. Hopefully soon we'll get them. Will there be a season 14 and 15? Yeah, those are both going to be coming out next year for 2021. If you were a designer, which set would you make into a legacy form? I honestly would like to see an updated version of the Nindroid Mech Dragon for Legacy. I feel like that'd be awesome. You could beef it up a lot and just make it huge, like a huge robot dragon, bigger than the original Nindroid Mech Dragon. That honestly would be what I would choose. The original Mech Dragon isn't bad by any means, but I want like a bigger one. I want it to have even more features and maybe have it look good from a couple of other angles besides just the dead front. I'd honestly try to do that. Either that or maybe like what's another Ninjago set from back in the day that kind of needs revamping? Maybe Cole's Tread Assault because that's the only golden weapon vehicle that hasn't been made into a legacy version yet, which is really weird. But you know, I'm sure they'll do that eventually. At least I would hope so. Instead, they decided to make the Earth Driller, which honestly kind of needed um, a little bit of a revamp more than the Tread Assault did, if we're being honest, because the original Earth Driller is not good. I need Zane's new hair. Yeah, me too. Luckily for us, the Zane's hairpiece is going to be coming out in one of the cheaper sets, so it's good. I guarantee you, though, that epic battle set with Zane and the Ninjaroid, that's going to be one of the most popular sets, like day one. Everyone's going to want to buy that set just for that hairpiece. What about Moro's Wind Dragon? They could do that too. I'm sure they will do that. In the summer wave for 2021, I guarantee you that there will be more Season 5 sets, even maybe some Season 6 sets. So I'm sure there's going to be a legacy version of the Moro Dragon. I guarantee you of that. Do I think that Skylar should be an official member of the Ninja team? Yeah, I'm sure everyone's been thinking that for a very long time. In terms of Skylar being a ninja, I'm not really sure why she hasn't become a ninja just yet, but just overall, I feel like she should. She definitely deserves it, and I won't stop until she gets in that. So yeah, I feel like she has a good, I guess, set of skills that the ninja could utilize, but for some reason they don't. Do I like the Sky Pirates? I do. They're not my favorite villains out there, but I really like Nauticon. In terms of an army, the Sky Pirates are okay. I want the Great Devourer. Yeah, as a legacy set, that could be really cool if they made the Great Devourer legacy. That'd be awesome. Because they made the Ultra Dragon, so why not make the Great Devourer? That's a pretty good idea. Zane's Titanium Dragon. Yeah, they could definitely do that too. Um, I don't want Skylar to be a ninja. I understand why she's not a ninja, and I understand why some people don't want her to be. I think that she has a good enough reason to be a ninja, but she really just hasn't been promoted yet. So, if they were going to do that, though, they should have done that at the end of season 4, and then starting with season 5, have her be a ninja. But they chose not to. So, all right, Great Devour with all the Serpentine generals. Yeah, that'd be a really cool legacy set. I really just want to see a big Ninja and Mech Dragon now. That'd be awesome. Um, yeah, Great Devourer should have. Yeah, because the original Great Devourer from the Epic Dragon Battle from way back in 2012, that one was kind of small and kind of pathetic looking, if we're being honest. So they could make a much bigger Great Devourer for Legacy if they really wanted to, but I'm not sure if they will. Legacy has kind of moved on to making sets for seasons 3 and 4, and now we're getting sets for 5. I'm not sure if they're going to be going back and making any more Legacy sets for season 2. Like even with the newer wave, we just got sets for seasons 3, 4, and 5. So I'm not sure if they'll go back, but they are doing the Overlord Dragon, which is a set for season 2. So who knows? They could go ahead and do that. Do I have the Griefbringer set? No, I do not. The Skull Dragon set, that's not something that I really want to get, so I'm probably not going to grab it. If it's really cheap, eventually I might pick it up, but it's not really a set that's on my radar. In terms of sets that are out right now, there's not really a whole lot that I want, and honestly, I'm just kind of waiting until the January wave to go ahead and pick up some new Ninjago stuff. Top 3 ninja in terms of my top 3 favorites. My favorite is Cole, followed by Zane, and then followed by Lloyd. Those are probably going to be my top 3. If I had to pick 3, those would be my dream team if I had to only pick 3 ninja. Jay isn't terrible either. Jay would be next in line. Then Kai, and then Nia would probably be my least favorite. Who's Cole's girlfriend? He doesn't have a girlfriend, but honestly, Vanya would be a pretty good choice. Can I change the background? Sure, we've been on Prime Empire for a little bit. Let's see what this is. Hands of Time? Yeah, that'll be fine. Hands of Time sounds good. for the time being. We'll probably change it one more time before. Yeah, if I ever get like kind of on a tangent, I kind of maybe forget about the background. So reminding me is very good. So yeah, don't be afraid to remind me to change the background after like 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes I let it go a little too long. So apologies for that. But we got Hands of Time going right now for a little bit. So, you know, got the 10th anniversary Lloyd figure. Awesome. Yeah, I'm waiting until the January wave. Honestly, the next month for me is going to be pretty fun because I kind of have to, I kind of get to just, sit around and do videos until January starts up, and then we get the new Ninjago stuff. It's going to be really fun. I can't wait. Do I like Lego Star Wars? Not really. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, but some of the sets are kind of cool for Star Wars. I have purchased Star Wars sets before in the past just for pieces and parts and whatnot, but just overall, it's not really my strong suit. It's not something that I go out of my way to collect and look for. Do I think the Legacy Fire Temple is a bad deal? Like the Legacy Fire Temple, meaning like the little fire dragon thing from Juniors? In terms of Junior sets being bad deals, for the most part, they are. Because, well, I shouldn't say that they're bad deals. Like, some of them are really kind of overly expensive, but that's just because they have large pieces in them, and Lego takes that into account when they price their sets. Otherwise, in terms of a Legacy Fire Temple, that's never something that we got, but that's something that a lot of people would have liked to have seen. I certainly would have liked to have seen that too. Um, what about Chima? What about Chima? I don't really care for Chima all that much. Um, I had a really weird dream the other night regarding Chima. I dreamt that it was like revived again in the same way that Bionicle was. Um, but I don't know. It was a really weird dream. I don't know why I dreamt that, but I woke up and Chima's nowhere to be found, thankfully. So yeah, I never really cared for Chima. Do I think the Lego Brickheads are worth buying? I feel like they're basically Lego's answer to Funko Pops, honestly. They're kind of like the same price. I only have one Brickhead, though. I only have the Brickhead for Lloyd from the Ninjago movie, and it's okay. Again, it's kind of like a Lego Funko Pop, and if you like Funko Pops, you're probably going to like the Brickheads. So to me, I buy a lot of Funko Pops, but the Brickheads aren't really my strong suit. So I don't know. They're all right. I probably wouldn't buy more than the one that I have, but you know, in terms of collectibles, they're not the worst thing ever, and they're kind of cheap depending on where you buy them. So I see the Brickheads on clearance a lot at stores like Target and Walmart. So it's definitely not the worst thing ever. I don't really hear a lot about Monkey Kid. Yeah, Lego really doesn't push Monkey Kid out all that much. The show really hasn't been marketed anywhere. I feel like a Monkey Kid was kind of designed for the Chinese market because China in everything is pretty much like one of the biggest selling points, especially for like TV shows and movies. And having a Lego theme based around Chinese culture, that was probably a very smart move for Lego. So I feel like that's going to be marketed a little bit more towards that audience. In the States here, it's not really marketed at all. Monkey Kid is only available in Lego stores in the States here, to my knowledge. So, yeah, Monkey Kid really hasn't had that much exposure. I'm fairly certain overseas it's getting a lot more exposure than it is here, but that's just Lego's marketing team doing that. I wish Monkey Kid would have been marketed a little bit more over here because it's actually pretty good. In terms of the sets, they're not my favorite thing ever, but the show's actually pretty good. Um, so how do I like season 9 Hunted? It's all right. I feel like it's a step down from Sons of Garmadon, but it's not terrible. I think it's a nice follow up to season 8, but season 8 is infinitely better. Monkey Kid dead. Yeah. I hope it continues on for a little bit longer, but Monkey Kid's probably not going to last that much longer. It's probably going to last around the same as like uh, Nexo Knights, I'd imagine. How far am I into Spider-Man Miles Morales? I've 100%ed that game. I did that within the first couple of days of having it, and I have unlocked the new game plus. I'll probably go back and do that again later on, but you know, it was a pretty good game, but it's kind of short, which is to be expected. It's not like a full game, so. Did I collect Lego Hero Factory? Yes, I was big into Hero Factory. Hero Factory is actually what kind of got me into Lego. Hero Factory came out in July of 2010, and then Ninjago came out in January 2011. And I remember being super into Hero Factory, and then Ninjago came out, and I was just big into Lego during that time. But Hero Factory was very, very good. I kind of joined into the Lego fandom pretty much at the very end of Bionicle, unfortunately, and I had a lot of Hero Factory sets. I didn't really collect a lot from the first wave, but starting like from the second wave onward, I was big into it. Unfortunately, Hero Factory kind of ended on a whimper. It didn't really have an actual conclusion, which was very sad. But just overall, I really enjoyed Hero Factory. Even now, I still have all my old sets in storage, and one day I will take them all out and build them all again. My favorite line of Hero Factory was Savage Planet. Really enjoyed that. Otherwise, other LEGO themes that I enjoyed, I was really big into LEGO City, especially the police stuff around the 2011 era for LEGO. I collected a lot of that. Um, and nothing else really grabbed my attention besides, those three. But then Bionicle came out again in 2015, and I collected all of those sets. So, I don't know. Now there's not really another LEGO theme that I like besides Ninjago. Monkey Kid is good for the show, but it doesn't really have that greatest sets, in my opinion. I don't really care for any of the Monkey Kid sets. Do I have seasons 8 and 9 picks? I might somewhere on here. Here, let's go through the picks and see what we got. We got Possession, Tournament, was it Skybound, Season 11, Rebooted, that's Prime Empire, Season 2. Maybe I don't. No, I don't. I have March of the Oni, though. But why don't we do Season 2 for the time being? That's got a whole lot of stuff. What Ninjago minifig only came in 2 big sets? In terms of a very exclusive figure, well, for example, this current wave, Vanya is only in one of the larger sets, which kind of sucks because I want the Vanya figure, but I don't want to buy the set that she's in, so I'll just probably bricklink her and get her then, because I want her at some point, but, you know. Um, What's my favorite Ninjago wave? My favorite Ninjago wave of all time in terms of the set wave has to be the Ninjago movie. The Ninjago movie did a great job of incorporating the movie into those sets, and just overall it was a really good wave, all things considered. I really enjoyed the Ninjago movie sets. They're honestly really good sets. Like even nowadays they kind of hold up. They're only like 3 years old at this point, but they really do hold up. It's very good. Yeah, Monkey Kid's very expensive. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I also don't really want to get it, because I really don't need to be spending a bunch of money on Monkey Kid sets. So, yeah, it's not the best thing ever. But the show's pretty good. Would I consider the ninja broke or rich? I'd honestly consider them to be very, very broke. They've shown in the series a lot that they don't really have a lot of resources besides like their base and whatnot. So they're definitely not like rich heroes. So, and that's kind of something that I enjoy about them. They're kind of like underdogs in that regard. So really enjoy that. I think they did a good job in designing the ninjas characters. Why do most Lego minifigures have yellow heads? To answer that question, it's just because Lego, when they were making their own original, I guess, stuff for their company, they wanted to be as, racially insensitive as humanly possible. So they decided to give everybody a yellow skin tone just so that no one's really singled out. Obviously, for like licensed themes like Star Wars or Harry Potter, it's very obvious why they would, create the minifigures as they do, because they're supposed to be basing them off of the actors in the movies. So obviously it would make sense. Um, but in terms of like Lego's original IPs like Ninjago, it's just because the characters in Ninjago don't belong to any specific race. So they're just all the same color. So it kind of prevents that kind of prevents those prejudices and whatnot. So that's pretty much why Lego does that, which I think is admirable. I think that's a good way to go ahead and do it. Um, so just overall, I don't think that's a bad thing. I feel like that's probably the best case scenario that they could have done. So. Can I get seasons 8 and 9 picks? I will write it down. I can probably add them later today, and maybe we can have them for tomorrow's stream. I will add that to the list. I'm slowly going through and getting all the seasons in here, and any requests I can add eventually. So I can add those later on today. Because I have pictures for every season like kind of saved onto my computer for video purposes, but you know, if they're broke, how on earth do they build all the mechs and vehicles? Well, Nia is pretty much responsible for all that kind of stuff, and she's a scavenger, so I imagine she's got a lot of different resources, and she can pretty much make gold out of nothing. So Nia's pretty good with her handiwork. So And plus, some of the vehicles are, either dragons or, for example, the golden weapon vehicles are pretty obvious. But in terms of all the mechs and vehicles and all that kind of stuff, the ones that they build, Nia pretty much builds them and takes care of them. So, and she's got resources, so makes sense to me. Any way to watch Ninjago for free? Probably not. I mean, there some of them are available, but you do need like subscriptions, for example, like on Netflix or Amazon Prime. In terms of watching Ninjago for free, I'm sure there's some website out there that has all of Ninjago for free, but I don't know. Otherwise, you could look on YouTube and see if people are uploading them. Lego actually has an official playlist with Ninjago episodes in it. Most of them are not in English, but you know, Lego has seasons 1 and 2 available to watch on YouTube for free. So otherwise, a lot of the episodes are just in Korean. As I take a sip, yeah, there is a Google Drive somewhere with all the episodes, but I'm not sure where that is. I don't have the link to that. If you asked around, like in Discord servers and stuff like that, I'm sure someone could give you the link to it, but I'm not so sure what it is. I like season 8 because it's more realistic. Yeah, that's pretty much something that they tried to do with Sons of Garmadon, is make it really grounded and realistic, and I enjoyed that. So there are 2 episodes of season 2 on Lego's YouTube that aren't available. Yeah, I've seen that happen. I can't remember which episodes they are, but some of them are not available in certain countries for some reason. But for the most part, Lego has them on there. There's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird the way that they distribute that. You have the Google Drive link. I'm not sure if links will work in the chat at the moment, but you could try and see if that works. I'm not so sure if they'll work or if they will be marked as spam and put into the spam folder, but you could try. Valkyrie or Lady Sif? I think Valkyrie is a better character from the Marvel movies. I don't really watch, or I don't really read comics. I just kind of watch the movies. What's the drink for today? We got ourselves a half a 2 liter of Mountain Dew left over from yesterday. So it's the only thing that I can find. Yeah, I think links are kind of disabled in the chat. Um, I'm not sure if I can fix that right off the bat, unfortunately. Um, sorry about that. Yeah, Mountain Dew's back. Yeah, we got that rolling. So, have I noticed how Lloyd and Nia are getting alarmingly closer? I don't think that they're gonna end up together. I don't think Nia's gonna like drop Jay for Lloyd or anything like that. But they are really good friends. So I guess that's good. What Star Wars sets did I pick up? I picked up one way back in the day. I think it was like the Mandalorian Battle Pack or something like that. I just bought it for the weapons and for the guns. I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I picked up one of those cheaper sets and threw everything else in the bin and just kept the guns. So that was pretty much the the logic of 11-year-old me. But Kai and Nia need to get their sibling bond back. Yeah, season 15 is rumored to be focusing on that. Kai and Nia's relationship will be explored more in the future, according to Tommy Andreasen. So hopefully, season 15 will kind of do that. I always thought it would be kind of cool if Kai turned evil or something like that, or Kai like left the group for his own selfish reasons, and then Nia had to bring him back in the group. That would kind of explore their relationship a little bit more, and it would also tie into another thing that Tommy Andreasen said about Ninjago, which is that one ninja will change dramatically in future seasons. So that would kind of line up with both of those theories. Will Akita come back? Honestly, probably not. I mean, Lego's kind of been, or Ninjago's kind of been in the habit now of introducing just a random side character and then taking that character away after the season's done. So I highly doubt that Akita will return, but hopefully she does. Do I think season 15 will have Maya then? Jillian Michaels has been returning to voice Maya at some point, so we do know that she will be back in one of the upcoming seasons. And if it's season 15 and that's a Nia story, it makes sense. Who created the Great Devourer? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was just like a natural thing that just kind of fell into the world of Ninjago after the Serpentine were created by the first Spinjitzu master. Maybe it could have been created by him as well. Who really knows? Happy belated birthday. Thank you very much. Yeah, yesterday was my birthday. It was all right, I suppose. A lot of good announcements coming out. So I guess that's something. Just overall, it was an all right day. Wasn't the best ever, but it was okay, all things considered. Season 5 pictures, we can switch over to Season 5 for the last few minutes of the stream. Just let possession go for a little bit, and then we won't really change it anymore because we only got like 5 minutes left of the stream, so we'll just let Season 5 run. What if the ninja had real guns? Well, then they wouldn't be ninja then. Ninja don't use guns. Do I think the Overlord could return or put in a legacy short? Maybe, because the Overlord is in the legacy sets, so maybe they could have him in one of the legacy shorts, but I'm not so sure how that would work. Just overall, I feel like the Overlord should return, though. Have I seen the Season 13 bloopers? I have. They are kind of funny. It's a nice little, I guess, addition to Season 13. It's a nice little video that kind of adds on, doesn't really hurt anything, so it's kind of nice. Where do I think Garmadon is? What about Garmadon? Garmadon, who really knows? Garmadon has kind of been taken out of the series at this point, and I doubt he's going to be coming back anytime soon. It's quite unfortunate. I feel like Garmadon should come back at some point, but I'm not so sure he will, which is very unfortunate. What's my least favorite ninja? Nia. Nia's not a bad character, but she's definitely one of my least favorite ninja. So, Nia and then Kai would be my second to least favorite. Kai is not a bad character either. I don't really hate any of the ninja, so hopefully no one thinks that. Happy belated birthday, thank you very much. What happened to the brown ninja? He got removed from the series, or at least as of late. He hasn't been in a season lately. I think the last season he was in, was he in Prime Empire? I can't remember if he was in Prime Empire or not, but he certainly wasn't in season 13, so that's good. I really don't care for Dareth all that much. We need a Legacy Moro. Yeah, hopefully in the summer wave we will actually get Legacy Moro. That's supposedly on the list for the summertime. We're supposed to be getting a lot more Season 5 sets, so happy for that. He was in Prime Emperor? Alright, yeah, fair enough. I just know for sure he wasn't in Season 13. So, because Season 13 didn't really take place in Ninjago City, so that's good. What's my favorite season? I really love Tournament of Elements. That's my favorite. Yeah, I remember that. Okay, I'm starting to remember it. I need to rewatch Prime Empire. There's not a lot that I recall, especially not with Dareth, but, you know. When I talk about different shows so that I can grow more, every so often I'll talk about, like, a Marvel movie here on the channel. I used to review a lot of Marvel films, but as of right now, I've kind of focused my attention towards Ninjago just because it's something that I really love, and I've kind of grown to appreciate this community. So talking about a different show probably, I don't know, wouldn't be all that great. I talk about different stuff on my Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. I talk about different shows and movies and other stuff that I like besides just Ninjago, but on YouTube, I kind of keep it Ninjago related just because that's what I like to talk about. So, but if you want to see some other stuff that I'm into, some other movies or shows and whatnot, my Instagram is probably the best place for that. Otherwise, I do talk about some stuff on stream too. Streams are trending. That'd be cool. I've never been on the trending tab. How could Kai hold all the golden weapons at the same time in season 10? In terms of the golden armor, I don't know. I think it's just because the power was depleted from when the Overlord had it. Clearly, in season 3, when Zane grabbed onto the Overlord's golden armor, it didn't work out very well. But after Zane's sacrifice, the golden armor was kind of depleted of power, so it kind of explains why the other characters can hold it in March of the Oni and not, get vaporized. So that just makes sense to me. In the meantime, though, we got only 2 minutes left in the stream, so if we want to turn it over to rapid fire questions, anything that I can answer in just a quick sentence or two, let's just get some really quick questions in the chat to pretty much round out the stream as we conclude. Did I know that Cole's favorite color was orange? Yes, I did. Orange is Cole's favorite color. It actually appears in a lot of his suits. So, but let's get some rapid questions in here. What did I do with Stormbreaker? It's on my desk. It's actually like right next to me on the desk right now. Looks really cool. How was my day? It's all right so far. It's far from over. I got a lot to do today yet. So, do I like Taco Bell? Not really. There's other fast food restaurants out there that are infinitely better. Do I have Lloyd Forbidden Spinjitzu? I do not. The only Forbidden Spinjitzu ninja that I have is Zane. My favorite set, the movie Destiny's Bounty, is still my favorite. The new Legacy Bounty really doesn't even hold a candle to the movie Bounty, in my own opinion. Really hope we see all the Deepstone Ninja this summer. I hope so too, because from the way that Zane's looking in Legacy with his new Deepstone suit, it looks amazing. And I want the other ninja too, so I'm sure we'll get them later on. Favorite ninja suits? My favorite ninja suit of all time is the Golden Ninja Lloyd from the original Ninjago waves. But my favorite suits as a group has to be the Sons of Garmadon suits. So, yeah, the movie Bounty's pretty good. Do I think I can become famous? I really don't want to be, but maybe. Anybody can become anything if you put your mind to it. What if Lloyd were to revive Harumi? That'd be interesting. I don't know if he would, and I think that would be kind of weird for him to do that, but you know, I doubt he would. Do I have the Legacy Electromech? That's not out yet in terms of pictures. We don't have it out yet either, but I really don't want it just because it doesn't look all that great, judging from the leaked images that we saw of it. But we don't have like any clear official pictures. So, um, is there a season about Ronin? No, but he might show up in a future season. I can't tell if the stream is lagging or not. Of course, it would lag like right at the end. Um, we have a few dropped frames, but we're fine for the most part. But let's answer one more question before we end off the stream, just before it kind of lags a little bit more. But let's get one more really solid question in. So, um, we can do that. What inspired me to start my... Yeah, now it's lagging like a lot. Let me see if we can actually reconnect and end off the stream properly. Okay, okay, I think it's good now. Is it... Okay, I think we're good. Sorry about that. OBS just crashed immediately as it was ending. But the question was, what inspired me to start my channel? And it's just my love for making videos. And eventually I just started uploading them, and I really enjoyed it. And naturally an audience started building, so now we're here, where we're at now. So um, hopefully that answered the question. And now that the stream is kind of fine, it seems, let's go ahead and end off the stream before it lags again. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning into the stream. In case you guys need the streaming information again, we stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A, updating this day by day. If there's ever a moment where I can't stream, I'll let you guys know through my community tab. And for the time being, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know what was with the stream, why it crashed legit in the last few minutes, but it was a good stream nonetheless. But thank you guys for watching. Stick around for the channel for the next couple of next few hours here. We got a few more videos coming out over the next several hours. A few more videos coming out today, so hopefully you guys enjoy those. In the meantime, I'm gonna go get started on videos for the next few days and get started for the stream tomorrow. Tomorrow we're talking about Wrong Place, Wrong Time. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and checking out the stream. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks a lot for asking questions. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. My name is TannerFishies, and with that,